This is Kazway Kashiwagi. You are listening to 108live.radio. Welcome to 108live.radio. This is Kazway Kashiwagi. I'm a tarot card reader, artist, creator, and publisher of tarot. I'm also a psychologist and energy healer. I have my own practice in Johannesburg, South Africa as a life coach. I'd like to welcome you to my show, Interactive Tarot. The show is not only about tarot cards, although bits and pieces of tarot-related topics will be covered. Along with carrying out live tarot readings, it is just simply full of insights of a way of life, philosophy, science, and spirituality, most of the time involving guests who are in the field of health, wellness, and or spirituality. If you have any question or suggestion, please contact me by emailing to mail@kashiopia.com. Kashiopia is spelled Kashiopia. You can also check out my website, www.kashiopia.com. Interactive Tarot is aired every Friday from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. live here on 108live.radio. Stay tuned in. So we got the house totally full today. We got 3 guests. One is of course Atma. Hi Atma. Oh.
She always puts you. I just feel like I'm just part of the furniture.
Atma is the producer of 108live.radio. Then we got Ashika and Shannan.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good
morning.
morning. And what are we?
WholeSoul.
WholeSoul. We 3 of us are WholeSoul. So I'm a host, Kazway, but at the same time I'm also my own guest today. So, what are we talking about today?
We're talking about our WholeSoul retreat and what the 3 of us are creating.
100%. So the dynamic trio have created a retreat that we'll be holding for the solstice this year, 2018. In Kaapstad, and we're hoping to share a bit of our love and light with everybody who's listening.
Yeah, let's talk about how we actually you guys got together, how you guys invited me into this awesome group. No, it's not. It's trio. How did we become a trio? How did you 2 start?
I think for me it's just it's playful, it's divine planning, I call it, just conversations. When you start having conversations about how do we take this to the next place, and our next place happens to be global. And Shannan was sharing with me that, hey, global, Japan, I know somebody.
Yeah.
That's how that began with you, and I had met you prior to that at one of Shannan's events in Rivonia. So I knew you already, and I was like, yes, let's just do it. So it started off with the global conversation, and then we realized, you know what, we are here. We are in South Africa, and we have all of these sacred times in the year and these sacred places that we are aware of in South Africa. So let's take what we create together, invite people, and use those timings of the year and the sacred places with what we bring and magnify it.
And Ashika, you are expert of carrying out retreats.
Expert in the learning, yes, I would say. But yes, I've got a number of years of experience. I do them globally.
Yeah.
And love it.
From India, of course, South Africa, Canada, yeah.
Cambodia, you name it. If the call is there, I'm there.
Yeah, so you are already coordinating. You have already coordinated much of the logistics of the retreat for December.
Yes.
And that's it. And Shannan, you are you are a shaman. You are a shaman initiator, actually. And, we all bring different things, aren't we?
100% we do. I remember the universe actually aligning Ashika and I initially a few years ago. We lived in Johannesburg around the corner from each other literally, and we were placed by the universe in India at a retreat Ashika was a retreat Ashika was hosting.
Seriously?
That's how we met, in India.
In India.
In India.
But both coming from Johannesburg.
That's it.
Wow.
And with regards to you, obviously, for me, I had a lot of precognizance in my dream space and premonition as to having a third person join, and it all added up to you for us. And as you know, Kazway, the alignment has been phenomenal. I mean, we know the power of 1111, and we're all birthed on the 11th month.
Yes.
It's phenomenal how everything has just played out, and how we've been divinely supported, and how all of that has just made complete sense to us, and how nothing has been a struggle. It's just naturally unfolded.
Yes.
But yes, so what I bring is my whole soul. An aspect of that is shamanism, and I do shamanic initiation as well. Yes, I also do plant medicine, and I do energy healings and all sorts of interesting things.
And Ashika is a life coach, and you also carry out school.
Yes, I own Live the Love Academy, and we train life coaches. But that's just one aspect of how I live my life. I'm also a healer, also in the shamanic path as well.
Yeah.
And, metaphysics is huge, psychology is huge for me.
Yes.
So it's about merging all of that in the spiritual creativity for me.
We are all different, like our ethnic background is different. I'm obviously Japanese, and Ashika is Indian heritage, and Shannan is
South African heritage.
Yeah, white South African.
Caucasian.
Yeah, Caucasian, and we're all different, but we do the same thing. We are life coaches. We are on shamanic path. All of us. We are all energy healers. But we are all different as well. It's like it comes from a different perspectives that three of us actually make it so diverse and almost complete, if I may say it, like make it as whole.
100%. As 100%. It's all the differences and the similarities that create the oneness and hence the wholeness.
Yeah.
And that's what's beautiful about it. Doesn't matter how similar we are or how different we are. We're still
each other.
Completely individual and one.
Yeah. So listeners, that's what we are, who we are. So let's get into more of details of a retreat and what we are going to be offering.
Okay, so the retreat is actually an experience from the time we leave Johannesburg. So our attendees will have the pleasure of being transported. We have a tour bus that will fetch them, and it's a leisurely drive. So it's really just leaving behind the city mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. There's lots of fun on the travel. It's a 3-hour drive. So be prepared for singing and being happy and all of the lovely stuff that kids would do when they travel.
Oh, that would be
and,
cool. Should have a karaoke in the bus.
Yes, there you go. There's another idea. So when we get to Kapsahua, we are going to have the most amazing lunch. But more than the lunch is the environment. It's set in a sanctuary for wild horses, and just to spend time in the energy of these wild horses, I cannot put it in words. It's just, it just elevates you. You're like a child again. I'm very big on the whole connecting with your essence of your youthfulness, and just spending the 2 or 3 hours there with these beautiful horses. And there's a horse whisperer on the property, and he is so energetically and spiritually connected with people and animals. When you meet him, it's like you're walking into a storybook. Really, it's like I entered a storybook when I was there.
Oh, wow.
And then assimilating all of that lovely energy, and then we go to our main event, which is where the three of us are going to have this amazing magic where we kind of initiate our retreat, meeting the solstice on 21st December at its sunset at the Adams calendar. And then, we go back to a private farm, And then the three of us are going to have that magic on Saturday and Sunday. So
absolutely. And the whole energy of Kaapse is magic in itself, as Ashika says. It's everything, and everything you can imagine and everything you can't imagine in one space. And even the horse energy, very well known for the wild horses that roam freely and don't belong to anybody, but they're all cared for by everybody.
Oh,
it's
wow.
so magic and majestic. Just being in that environment itself is healing, you know. And I really look forward to spending time at Adam's Calendar, and everything's going to take place there, as well as the private farm that we're going to be staying at. It's absolutely magnificent. It's really something that you need to experience. You know, how do you put these things into words?
It's difficult. Like, my mind is just racing with the joy of it, and putting it into words is not the easiest.
I hope people can feel our excitement and joy
Absolutely.
that we can feel. Let's talk a little bit about Adam's Calendar for those who don't know what it is. Actually, there are people who don't know. And I knew about Adam's Calendar because I read it in one of camping magazines quite a few years back.
Okay.
So I had been there once, but I couldn't find any guide or anybody, and I don't think I eventually found the place. And obviously it became very clear that I didn't find the place because we, three of us went there just 2.5 months ago.
Yes.
And as I got there, I was like, no, this is not where I was a few years back. So,
The universe is great like that. It will wait for divine timing and alignment.
Seriously. Me and my partner walked, for 1 hour, 1.5 hours along the path. We were there, but it did not find it. Oh, we didn't walk far enough. That's what I mean. But it's not the site was hidden from us. I'm not saying something like mysterious happened. We just didn't get there. But it was strange that it was only the second time I was able to be there and actually absorb the energy.
Absolutely.
Oh, so anyway, what is Adam's Calendar?
Adam's Calendar is known as the Stonehenge of South Africa, of Africa actually. It's 75,000 years old. It's one of the oldest sacred sites on the planet that we know of. And the purpose of sacred sites is that they hold a magnified vortex of energy, meaning that for 75,000 years, this circle, it's a sundial. And 75,000 years ago, we didn't have Google, we didn't have maps. Time and day and what season was measured by sundials, and this is one of those sundials. It was also used as a place of worship. So healings and helping people that are ill and all sorts of magical stuff that we call spiritual today. So the concentrated energy at sacred sites is what the purpose of visiting them is. But when you visit them with intention, when you visit them with knowledge, and you know what you're doing, and you know what is the precise time to be there, like 21st December at sunset is a precise time. It's a solstice, and those that are joining us will actually see where the sun lines with the stones.
Yeah, and over 70,000 years ago, how humans back then appreciated and worshipped the sun god.
Yes.
Well, absolutely. And then we have the whole debate about how those sundials even got erected and placed there. I mean, everything about it is so magical and mysterious and cosmic almost.
Oh, cosmic, absolutely.
It's really out of this world.
Yes.
And I know it sounds radical, but it really is. And to sit there in the solstice and see what the whole meaning behind it is as the sun sets and how it all aligns in the dial, it's a once in a lifetime, really. It really is something that you do need to experience at least once.
Yeah.
At least once.
Yeah, and connect to our ancestors.
Absolutely.
Our ancestral soul, basically.
Absolutely.
At this time of year, what we will be doing is working with people's what they call soul codes. So as healers, that aspect of shifting one's consciousness. So yes, we have our body consciousness, and we have our relationship and life consciousness, and many people are on the spiritual path, and whatever that path is, we encounter places like this where we can come in. It's almost as if you're having a bath, a shower, a spiritual shower, to kind of magnify already what is happening in your life, to help unconsciously shift things. What I love about spirituality and the things of the unknown is that it can fit into your life even when you're unaware, and it can work in your life even when you're unaware. And you don't need to know what you don't know.
We can't know what we don't know to start out. So yeah, it's important to have an open mind, open heart, and
allowance.
Yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we met, remember on our trip when we met the guy from Austria, and he was for 19 years dreaming of visiting Adam's calendar, and he was so shocked that he said, this is on your doorstep.
Yeah.
And for 19 years, this was my ultimate goal, my dream. And you guys are just so oblivious. This is on your doorstep.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to talk about Adam's calendar, to let people know what they have gotten in this country. And sooner or later, that place is going to be controlled by higher authorities, so it doesn't get demolished any more than just natural corrosion, I guess. It's like a Stonehenge in the UK, the big Stonehenge. You can't go close to it anymore.
Absolutely.
You can't climb up on the pyramids in Giza anymore.
No.
Yes.
And sooner or later, Adam's calendar, I believe it should be protected.
Absolutely.
But right now, you can actually get there. You can actually sit on the stones.
I know. It's
powerful.
phenomenal.
Yeah, so
What an experience.
it is.
To immerse ourselves in that energy, to touch it, to smell it, to feel it, to experience it.
Yeah, and it's a basically limited offer.
It is a limited offer because we don't know.
Yeah.
And that's exactly it. We don't know. So back to that. It's okay not to know. But if we have an opportunity to experience something, we should take it. And we should grab it with both hands. Why? Because we don't know.
We don't know. And wonderful thing about going to Adam's calendar is that we actually going to be doing some kind of ritual, aren't we?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Sacred ceremony.
Yes.
So again, that's super limited offer that you can actually be right in the center of Adam's calendar's energy, and we carry out sacred ceremony.
Absolutely.
We just got back from the experience at the 11/11 in the same vortex. It was extremely powerful. I promise you, when people walk through those twin pillars, because at the center of the dial there are these two, we call them the 11 rocks, and when they walk through that veil and that frequency of energy, it was such an awakening moment for them. People were emotional, people were joyful, people were contemplative, that there was a stillness in the group, there was a stillness in that moment that really just brings to the reality of what is the soul's journey. Really, what is the soul's journey? What is my soul here for now at this age and stage in my life?
Yeah, and forget about all the egotistical worries and fears.
Absolutely. I remember the first time I was there, and the two of you happened to be there with me. But when I stood between the two 11 stones, as Ashika calls them, I sobbed like a child.
Yes.
The energy was so overwhelming. The love and expansion in my heart space was so beautiful that I couldn't help but cry. Pure love tears. It was just so magical.
I just get goosebumps.
I've been getting goosebumps the whole time I'm sitting here talking to you guys. So we were there back in September. And just to touch up on shamanic journey, that condor, eagle, is one of the archetypes, and that's connected to the heart center. And as we started getting into the meditation, remember that these eagles came over and flew over us.
Absolutely. It was actually in that moment that I was I was actually not aware of the eagles at that stage. I'd sat in between the two stones. I'd called in the 4 shamanic directions only. I was still connecting to the Divine Mother and Kazway came around the stone
And
I was crying, and she tapped me on my shoulder and she said, look. And as I looked up, Condor was there circling above us. And one of the other gentlemen that Ashika was talking about earlier, whose dream it had always been to come to Adam's calendar, he also called us and he said to us, look, here's another one coming. We had two in that exact moment that had come, I believe, specifically for us as an initiation as well. And it was confirmation for me on a lot of levels for a lot of things, but definitely that more people should see, as the Great Condor does,
yes,
what this is, what this holds, how powerful this is.
Yes.
It was absolutely divine. I will never forget that day for the rest of my life.
So we're hoping that everyone can experience something as divine and special
Absolutely.
as what we experienced, and that's why we are here to share that divinity, I guess.
Absolutely. To share that energy. We'll also be doing a shamanic cacao ceremony at Adam's calendar for the solstice. As part of the heart center opening and connecting to everything that is.
which is like really important. I see when you do your shamanic ceremonies that you bring in light from above and light from the below, and you let it meet at the heart center. And the opening heart is so important, isn't it? I mean, like,
so important.
As a human being, it's so easy to close our hearts and just be oblivious to all the sacred, intangible, what eyes can't see things, and just focus on what we can see, and then get trapped within this tangible world.
Absolutely.
And that's closing the heart. I mean, as a human being, been there, done it, still goes through it, you know. We are all learning. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, as much opportunity as possible to be exposed to opening the heart. I think it does humans so much good.
I couldn't more. I think that our heart space is where we live from. I don't mean just physically.
No.
I mean on a soul level and everything else, that everything is heart-based. And when we just allow ourselves to feel again, we remember the beauty of what we are, the beauty of what everything around us is, and the love that it all holds.
And that we actually made of that love, that energy, that light. And we're all connected.
And I think as I'm hearing you both speak, I'm just thinking of how the name WholeSoul fell into into our hearts that day when we were asking, what is the name of this retreat? And it is what you are just describing is the whole soul. Is that our souls are whole. It's not fragmented. We have whole souls, and it's the journey from where we are to the wholeness of who we are.
Absolutely.
And that includes absolutely everything and anyone on the earth.
Isn't that beautiful?
Oh, it is.
It is available to anybody. Everybody. Absolutely.
Like all the plants to animals to rocks to, everything. We can all connect to everything. And all of them is whole soul. And it goes back to my origin, like a cultural origin of Shintoism as well. That in Shintoism there are, they say, 8 million deities there. 8 million just means a lot, but it basically means there is a spirit in anything and everything, and we are all connected to anything and everything.
Yes, we're just different expressions of the same thing.
Yes.
Different expressions of the same thing. How beautiful is that?
And by taking off that, say, block of people believing that we are all separated, actually it will free them. And actually they will be able to feel and experience the abundance of life. Being spiritual is not to be disconnected from reality, our physical world.
For sure.
It actually means we have to integrate spirituality into our third dimension world, physical world, and also it's like a two-way communication. So I believe that by heightening spirituality in a true sense will bring people abundance of this life, this physical life.
Can only, because when we're fully embodying our soul, that's when we fully live the expression of life here. When we're able to bring the two together, merge them, integrate them, and live them both at the same time, that's when it becomes beautiful.
Yes.
That's when it becomes a dance. That's when it's a flow.
Yes.
That's when there are no fragments. That's when it is the whole soul in its full glory and capacity, experiencing this beautiful, beautiful gift of this life that we've chosen for ourselves, with each other and everybody around us and ourselves. You know, when we get to have that experience with ourselves as the self and everything else, wow.
I'm listening to you, and you know, I'm already there. I'm already at the retreat, and it's Friday. It's after Adam's calendar. We've taken an hour drive back now. We're at this farm. We've got this private farm booked. The stargazing is beyond words. So imagine us having these conversations that night under the stars with these. We've only got place for 11 people, by the way.
Yes.
Okay.
Limited space available.
Limited space available.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
It's an
and I think
retreat.
we 50% booked already.
Yes.
And it's about these deep, meaningful conversations that we deserve, that connectedness that a lot of people are missing in their lives, and to have it with like-hearted, like-minded people, it's just beyond appreciation, you know. And then sleeping in that energy and waking up on Saturday morning, and the three of us got some adventures, like a whole day of adventures.
And isn't it phenomenal that the private farm that we're staying on has its own stone circles?
Yes.
So we have that.
Yeah, ancient stone circle. Nobody knows what that was really for. You can only guess.
Goodness, Kazway. When we visited that stone circle when we were together, and then I went back recently on the 11th of November, I realized that the circle is actually like a massive clock from 12. Remember I mentioned to you, and
Absolutely,
and we all we're guided to stand almost as if we're the tick and the tock of this clock. And when we were in that center, and kind of there was a releasing and extraction, so it was, everyone stood on the outer circle. Remember, there's 3 layers to the circle.
Yeah.
Yes.
The center is the heart, and from the heart you can draw out that positive condensed energy, and it'll pour into you. On the outer circle you stand in and you release. But when you stand in the middle circle, and you stand in your center and in your surrender, and you ask for your asking, and you give for your giving in that circle, that energy was so profound. It felt like a strong pillar of light in the center of that circle. Each one of us felt it. And then as we left, everyone left the circle having said what it is they're taking back with them into their life. And the things people were saying was not about money. It had nothing to do with success. It had nothing to do with romance. It had to do with safety and certainty in being in that soul journey. It was so remarkable.
And you know, that's the key to the law of attraction, the key to, law of manifestation and abundance, that we have to put trust in that abundance. We are here to experience everything at full extent. And without having that feeling of faith, I don't know if faith is the right word, but that certainty of like one's existence, that divinity of oneself, divinity of universe itself, will bring abundance and richness in life. Again, it's not necessarily about money,
All
kinds of richness.
Absolutely. Anything, it's limitless. And as Ashika was saying, when we're sitting under the stars and the cosmos on that farm, it's as if you could reach out and touch it, as if you could play with your hands in between the Milky Way. It is such an extraordinary experience. Really, for me, it was absolutely beautiful. Having that closeness to the star keepers, the guardians of the galaxy, the Syrians, the Palladians, all these things. It was there. It was so there. It was so real, as much as I know it's real. In that moment, sitting in that energy, having it what felt like arm's length away. Oh, I can't explain it. It was really phenomenal. And then also interacting, because then there is the divine play, as above so below, and you can really feel it.
You can really feel it.
And you have the experience of it. You can hear and you can see it, and you can,
And those shooting stars as we were meditating, and invoking all of the starlight energy.
Absolutely. I mean, we literally called in again the directions and called in everything that is. And as we did that, we were having shooting stars, and it was phenomenal. It was really phenomenal.
So I think, or I believe actually, that whatever unfolds on Saturday is just almost as if we are in this cosmic energy. Imagine your heart is open. Imagine you have this freedom. And then you have these three lovely, soft ladies that are there to take you on a creative day. And creatively, all of the, the stuff that we've got planned.
Yeah, well, there will be a lot of fun activities as well.
Absolutely.
Including practicing Tai Chi, Qigong. We'll be doing some artwork, bring our inner child.
Some dancing under the stars.
Dancing under the stars with the fire. Kazway has even offered to do little tarot readings for everybody.
So for the participants, you get free tarot reading.
And that's fantastic. I mean, imagine sitting in that energy and calling on everything that is again, and having somebody channel that for you. Is that not beautiful?
It's going to be so healing.
It's absolutely going to be healing. I believe it will be.
And I also see that, there's a lot of healing that we will be also sharing with the group.
For sure.
In the processes that we'll be doing, we've got some art. We've got music, we've got dance, we've got, the cacao drink as well, which we'll be giving people, teaching them about how to sustain and ground the physical body as they're going through their life in the new year. I think, for us, this is just a launch. Before you go back to your families and embrace the festivities and all the stuff that comes with that, everyone's got this idea that it's New Year, and we all know about it, how we all start off the New Year, all those big ideas of resolutions, and we want to just anchor. We just say, let's use this time, 21st December, let's anchor whatever it is and bring the ease into the new year, so you can just flow, just flow into it.
Yeah. And speaking of the families and so on, potentially we'll do a family constellation, a small family constellation, and really bring ourselves back to our own wholeness.
Yeah, each single one of them can embrace their wholeness as much as experience the wholeness of the universe.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it ties into Adam's calendar and stone circle, as they are circles, we will be experiencing this whole mandala experience, both metaphysically and physically.
Yes, 100%. And the circles being the wholeness, being the beginning and end, being the Ouroboros. It's also interlinked. Nothing is disconnected. Nothing is disconnected. Yeah, and it's so important to feel that, because how many of us, living in modern society, feel lonely, disconnected, insecure, all those negativities because we or they, I would say we, including myself sometimes, feel that we are alone, we are not part of anything, that we feel we have an illusion, it's just an illusion, but that we are not part of anything bigger, that we are disconnected. Maybe because of the physical body, but actually to be able to take off that barrier and go beyond that physical barrier, like
beyond the body and be connected spiritually, it's just going to be so healing. And how important is it, from a psychological point of view to spiritual point of view to physical point of view, if we can get rid of that loneliness that we suffer from.
Yes, and I think most of all, it's going to be a very safe space filled with love and fun.
Yes.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be about being, which is in itself love, fun, freedom, laughter, joy, all these expressions of the divine. So yes, there's so many things that it holds.
And that divinity, that divineness that you just mentioned, the divine way of life is bringing out our inner children. Because kids live in that way. They're full of joy. They don't worry. They're full of joy. They're full of love. Life is just exciting, adventurous, and we forget. Adults forget.
We forget, and I always have this belief that the loophole to life is to be childlike. The loophole to life is to be childlike. If we want a loophole to life, it's to be childlike.
Yes.
Because as you're saying, that child doesn't worry where its next meal's coming from, doesn't worry if the friend's not talking to the child today. It just carries on joyfully, full of laughter. It has no idea of separateness. It has no association with anything that is not soul.
Yeah.
We learn these over time.
And we had to experience being an adult, having that experiencing that separation. We had to experience that in order to be able to see what it's like not to have that separation, not to have those worries.
Absolutely. It's interesting that we're talking about this because just last weekend my shaman was saying that the separation, the moment we realize cognitively that we have had a separation from the divine, it's actually a trauma to us.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes.
And
yes.
that is continuous through our lifetime with separation. We relive the same separation we felt in that moment of being separated from the divine when we realized it. It could have been at any stage, and if you actually just sat with yourself and you allowed yourself to access that place where you first realized that you were separate per se from the divine, it was fairly traumatic.
And trauma will cause us to be protective and defensive.
Correct.
So, during our retreat, this kind of talk is going to just go on and on and on, I believe. It's like it's continuous soul-feeding activities.
Continuous reminding. It's about remembering.
Yeah.
We use the word forgot a lot. And our tour guide at Adam's Calendar, he reminded us of there's a long history and lots of different perspectives to like the Anunnaki and the human race and all of that information. And he says one of the things we need to realize as human beings is that we are programmed to forget. We are programmed to forget, and that is where our human experience has become challenging. Because had we remembered, and if we remember, then the struggle is not that the human struggle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we have to appreciate that struggle to be able to have contrast in life.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and the point is, it's okay to get hurt. As humans, we get hurt, but it starts unbalancing us if we hold on to that pain. Pain itself is not the evil. It's our ego of not letting it go that actually end up hurting us.
Pain is just a consequence. It's just a cause and effect.
Absolutely.
Pain in itself is a lot of people will come to us as life coaches and say, I really want to heal the pain. And I've come to believe that pain is not something you heal. Pain is something that is transformed.
Yeah.
And it can transform and channel itself through through experiences that bring you more of the same or something different.
Yes, 100% agree.
Hey Atma, do you have any question about what?
I really don't know where I am today. I'm like dazed.
He's in the cosmos already.
Well, it is full moon today, and
Yeah, it is.
Yes,
So
full
it's
moon in Gemini.
yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like just dazed and
See, this is the energy that we're gonna cause for our participants at retreat. They're gonna be
an elevation.
elevation.
Absolutely, we're taking you to the womb of existence.
Yeah.
To the womb of existence. And whatever that is to you and whatever that means to you, that is ultimately what we're hoping for you to be in
Yeah.
that space.
Now let's talk about how listeners can get hold of us. Like, how do they?
I think with me, you can contact me on my mobile, 078 538 0922.
Yes, my mobile is 083 315 7356.
And you guys use those numbers for your own business too,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
For your life coaching and
Yes, it's
yeah.
a public number.
yeah, cool.
And then I also have a website called raisingconsciousness.life, where you can also see what's happening if you would like to connect with me. And on Facebook as well, I have Raising Consciousness as Collective Souls. It is a private spiritual group, but you're also welcome to connect with me on Facebook.
Okay, and Ashika?
And that's a good reminder also. WholeSoul is a non-profit project. Live Love Foundation is housing that beautiful energy, and what Live Love Foundation does is we host these retreats, like I mentioned earlier, around the globe, and taking this education, taking these experiences to people that can afford them in a comfortable financial position. So it's not extravagant prices, and we always choose the best that we can. However, whatever profit we can earn from each retreat, it goes into our projects where we take the same work into communities and schools and villages, if we must, to share this education. So that's how WholeSoul is feeding into our Live Love Foundation project.
So as a WholeSoul, we don't have our specific website
No.
or Facebook group yet, but we are definitely going global. We have a plan to go to in 2019 Australia, Japan, Canada.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's like even every 3-4 months. That's next year gone. You know?
Absolutely. But the highlight is we're looking to bring all of our international clients, or as many as we can,
To Adam's
to
calendar.
Adam's calendar
Yeah.
by the end of next year.
Yeah.
So 2019, we're bringing all that we've seeded and all the love that we've experienced internationally from all these other whole souls, and we're bringing it to South Africa, thereby promoting not only our beautiful country, but our sacred sites.
And we have so many sacred sites also in the Western Cape,
Yes.
where we'll be taking people in future. And WholeSoul, I'm sure, will visit. We've got so many that ties into everything that we are being and doing here.
Yeah. So international guests will be able to experience South Africa itself, like wildlife at safari, game drive, I guess.
Yes.
You name it, African experience. But then on top of that, there are those sacred spots that are that are beyond human, beyond racial experience of Africa. Of something of 75,000 years ago, when Homo
The
sapiens.
hidden gems.
Yeah, before Homo sapiens just so. I think races already existed, but 75,000 years ago, we actually don't really have a written record of Homo sapiens.
Yeah, they speak of when you're on tour with Adam's calendar, they speak about the floods. the Noah's Ark floods and what the history from that going forward is. So you know how far back that is.
Yeah. I mean, remember, like humans, Homo sapiens don't really have a written history beyond 10,000 years.
Which is nothing.
It is nothing, absolutely nothing. Such short period of time. And we live even shorter. So we really have to grasp this moment, embrace this moment.
When you look at the magnitude of 75,000 years, I'm just thinking, it's like my lifetime is like a tiniest, it's a particle you can't even see.
Yeah, exactly. But we are actually being able to encounter that energy from back then. It's time machine.
Time machine, I agree.
Machine. I like that because I like all this astral traveling.
Yes, it's taking a step into another time, another space, another existence.
Yeah.
There's just so much to remember. There's just so much for us to remember.
Yes. And whatever we experience contribute to collective consciousness.
I agree.
Oh, absolutely.
And isn't that what we are here for? To add to collective consciousness. Consciousness of not just humans, the universe. We all learn from each other's experience.
Yes, very much.
So nothing is good or nothing bad. It is what it is, and everything is part of a divine.
Absolutely. And in the shamanic path, we really believe that when we heal ourselves, we're healing not only ourselves, but our bloodlines, our ancestral lines, our lineage, those who come before us, those who come after us. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal the work that we're doing collectively, as you're saying, when we're just doing ourselves.
So, some of us, maybe including myself, sometimes think that, I'm just one person. What can I do? Well, but that's the best place to start, isn't it? We can start healing from within.
If every human being was taught to bring it to self, and if all human beings were in the self-consciousness, tapping into their own higher consciousness, you and I wouldn't need to be doing what we're doing.
No, and we can
sharing,
and also we can start creating something higher. If everyone could be healed from whatever the trauma that they experienced, well, it's not a competition of healers. It actually will create a different dimension of life on the earth.
Absolutely. The Humoluminous, we're really going back to that light aspect of ourselves, light, the consciousness of ourselves, the light being that we are. And it's such an opportunity. And even if one person does it, a handful of people, 50,000 people, the consciousness collectively that it affects is magnified, and that is a gift not only to ourselves.
Every single one of us can be a pebble that is thrown into water that creates waves.
Yes.
And those waves are going to expand and expand, and if we all can be those pebbles, we will create tsunami.
Yes,
absolutely.
Of love. I mean, I did experience tsunami. Well, my parents did experience tsunami a few years back in Japan, and I did lose my child home. So it's a harsh reality. However, I mean it in the best positive way.
Yes.
In a soft, loving way.
Soft, loving way. Yeah. And it's okay to be drawn by love, drawn in love.
Oh. It's not only okay, it's our essence.
It's our essence, yeah. It's beyond okay.
Swimming in a sea of love,
yeah,
isn't that a space everybody wants to be in? Because that's the one thing we all innately long for, is to be accepted and loved and
I believe
approved of.
Yeah. And I believe that's why it's very important to do meditation. It's not because it's trendy, it's because it calms your mind. No, because we actually it gives us time to embrace that love that is available in the universe, and that's how we can actually start healing ourselves within. And our WholeSoul retreats, we will provide opportunity for people to get into that.
And what's beautiful
mindset
about the
mode.
retreats is that you're connecting with other whole souls. So
Yeah.
we're with more like-minded people. And what a beautiful space to be in.
Yeah, and we're all going to bounce off each other. We're all going to resonate with
Absolutely.
each other. And it's going to enhance that.
Collective.
Yeah, collectively, the vibration is going to be stronger.
I'm very excited. Very excited.
Very excited. I can totally feel it. And I can see what we can do to the world. As I say, like we are small pebbles, but we can do something. And by bringing people in, they all can start being pebbles as well.
Yes, absolutely. You know, you're a pebble regardless.
Yeah,
You're a
regardless.
pebble regardless.
Yeah, regardless.
So what is your ripple effect?
Mm.
What is your ripple effect? And, you know, if that matters to you, then WholeSoul is really another space where you get to access what your ripple effect is.
And it's not, we don't come from the place of a hero mentality. We don't necessarily want to be heroes. We don't want to be saviors or masters or gurus or, you know, those things. That's not why we want to do what we do, right? It feels just, I don't know, one thing is natural.
Well, for me, I'm just being the youngest, most creative version of myself. And that's playful lightness. It's love, lightness, and playfulness. And that beingness is what I think we're pouring out from our own essence.
Yeah, for me, it's just to really share, so give and receive the experience of love and divinity for myself and with others, to receive what I can from them. Because you remember, for me, I know in my journey, when I heal others, I heal myself. So
Yes,
when I
for
heal,
sure.
I heal. When I love, I receive love. It's such an interactive experience.
Oh, it's a constant catchball with the universe.
Yeah, and what a beautiful opportunity for like-minded people to get together and have that interaction with each other.
Well, we've got 8 more minutes, and I'm thinking maybe we can do some tarot reading. I usually have one guest and I have one person draw a card, but like this time, let's have one of each of you
yay.
draw cards
how
and just
exciting.
see. Okay.
These cards are so beautiful.
Kazway really has.
You are so creative.
She really has channeled her creative gift into her card sets and into her readings. She really is very connected in these. So I look forward to seeing what I get.
Okay, let's see what you have gotten. Okay, Shannan drew 8 of Swords. And the message is interference. I will definitely interpret it. Interference. And Ashika picked the Hierophant.
Hierophant.
Yeah. Okay, let's take from a... Huh? There we go. Getting the card's picture take. Okay, interference. I think this is a very good message. Okay, the image itself might be daunting, but a fantastic message about this. I'm getting I feel that it means this is not about you, Shannan. This is about what we are telling, or what we are sharing with our guests, that whenever we think we are stuck somewhere, it's happening within their minds, and it's an illusion. That in this image there are seven swords around him, and he feels he's trapped, but he actually holds one sword. It's a 8 of swords, 8 of swords card. He doesn't realize that by pulling out one sword out, he created a pathway, but he can't see it, and the viewers can't see it either. But there is a way out. That when we get trapped in our minds, there is absolutely a way out, and we are actually as free as we can be.
100%. I think that's the message that we are bringing.
Yes, and we actually already kind of talked about it.
I know.
During the
And that's that's why the tarot is so phenomenal. The more you talk, the more it will expand.
It does. And the Hierophant, of course, it's a priest. It's a priest figure, and it's a unification of a macrocosm and a microcosm. It's the yin-yang, the balance. And of course, it's a teacher card as well. So I believe the teacher part is coming out strongly to me right now. This is about us. So Ashika drew a card about us, and Shannan drew cards about what we are teaching.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. Thank you, Kazway, for that.
Cool.
Really appreciate
I love
Don't
tarot.
you want to pick one?
Do I want to pick one?
I think since WholeSoul is here,
It's a WholeSoul.
Oh
we
gosh.
need 3
okay.
cards.
Let's see. Okay, I got a 9 of Wands. Strength.
Wow.
It's the strength is the message is we have gotten the last strength to stand up and just give our best shot. We can just give our best.
Absolutely. And isn't 9 the number of completion?
Completion, yes.
So the circle again.
Yeah.
Circle coming to completion.
Do you want to draw a card, Atma? Just for the hell of it, heck of it, fun of it. Prince of Cups, air of water. Okay, air of water. Air is intellect. Cup, water is emotion. So this is a transformer of emotions or feelings into intellectual words. Something that we feel into more structured form.
So expressing,
yeah.
emotions.
Music and art, it relates to that.
Maybe that's why I'm dazed.
So it's quite a creative card.
Absolutely.
Alrighty, got. Okay, we only have 3 more minutes to go. Is there anything else that we have missed talking about?
I think just for everybody to have awareness that we won't only be doing the Corps of Hope, we'll be doing various other sacred sites potentially, and also we will be not only in South Africa but internationally, global, and it's an opportunity for us to connect as whole souls. So without borders, without any sort of separations. If you can't come to us, we'll come to you as much as possible, and it's really opening ourselves and our availability for anybody who would like.
And I have a question. For the international retreats, we can actually take South Africans who are interested in experiencing the country, right?
Absolutely.
Cool. So those who want to be in Japan next year can actually come to Japan, and they actually are planning to experience things like a waterfall, chanting. Yeah, what do you call it? A training.
Yes.
And stuff like that, aren't we?
Yes. Kazway is going to be seeding and anchoring for us in Japan as she makes her way back to her motherland. And so we look forward to experiencing all of that.
Yeah. So more will come. So yeah, cool.
Looking forward to it.
Alrighty, then now it's time to say goodbye, and I hope you all enjoy the show. Today's weekly guest was Shannan, thank you, and Ashika, thank you, and Atma, of course.
Thank you very much.
Cool. If you have any question about the show, what we discussed today, or tarot cards, or our retreats, you can email to mail2@cassiopeia.com. Thank you everyone, both listeners and guests. It was Interactive Tarot on 108live.radio. I'm Kazway, your guide to tarot cards and holistic wellness. Tune in again next Friday at 11 a.m. Until then, bye.
Bye.
Bye.